I'm here to share with you something that stood out with me from chapter 7 of Matthew, chapter 7 of Romans, and 7 of Hebrews, though I'm going to be focusing on Matthew. So Matthew chapter 7, verse 7 says, "Ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks the door will be opened. Which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him? So in everything do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets." So what stood out to me was the very last verse, verse 12, in the middle of this Sermon on the Mount, all these behavioral instructions of how we're to relate to each other, relate to the oppressed and the poor, relate to God, our enemies, is this little section on prayer. And then he finishes it by saying, "So in everything do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets." And that stood out because it struck me that this encouragement to ask, seek, and knock from the Lord is directly connected to how we treat one another and how we live our lives in fellowship with our families and our churches and our neighbors. And I felt so encouraged that as I can struggle through those relationships sometimes, to turn and to ask the Lord for help in any moment, any day. He's there and he's willing and ready to give us exactly what we need to keep walking his way, to bring fruit and to love those around us. So super encouraged by that. And yeah, I wanted to read also from this book called Praying Like Monks and Living Like Fools. So I was finishing up this book at the same time, and the chapter I was on happened to be called Ask, Seek, and Knock. So there's a little section in here that I wanted to share because it stood out and it just gave me an even deeper perspective of the way God was encouraging me. So he says, "Ask refers to the requests that bring us to prayer. Seek is a word peppered throughout Scripture that often refers to God himself. We come asking and we discover relationship among the mess. And knock, Jesus' final verb in this teaching on prayer in the Sermon on the Mount, is the destination of the prayer journey that begins in need, but biblically speaking, knock prompts the imagery of a table fellowship. So we knock and Jesus brings us in to share a table. And to share this table was the greatest affirmation of his character in the truest and deepest form of intimacy, which is exactly where we receive and find everything we need, our daily bread. So just continually needing to be reminded of that, and the power behind it increases more and more as I walk with him. So pray that you're encouraged, and keep going in your reading plan. Thank you.